Whenever you're ready.
Oh my God.
Jessica! I've never been called a fox!
Dana.
That's a classy name for a Harry.
I like it classic.
Okay.
Do you?
Welcome to the Rants and Raves podcast.
Sure.
Out with the bad and in with the good, motherfuckers.
That's right.
Jessica.
Dana.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, thank you. Welcome to the Rants and Raves podcast. I am Dana Powell.
I'm Jessica Young. And we are here to rant and rave.
Rant and rave. Why? As soon as we said "and," you froze on my computer for like 3 seconds. So I was like, I don't even know if she's singing, but here I go.
Sorry, guys. You're just going to have to wait until next year.
Yeah, exactly. And also, thanks for your patience. Every week we're like, maybe we'll release an episode. Not sure. I actually recorded a little thing last night and I was going to upload it, but it sounded so bad because I was already in bed. I just recorded it. But I was like, sorry, guys, we're going to be a day late, which we are, because there were frogs and dogs and surprise visits. So amazing. Apologies, Jessica. So yesterday we were supposed to record and we sat down. We were on StreamYard, like we were ready to go. And then I had an uncle and a cousin show up with a giant water slide, and I
totally jealous.
And then my very good friend, I think I've talked about her before, my little young friend, Kate, my little ride or die. She colluded with my family and came, she's from Missouri as well, and she came to town and surprised me for a porch party.
That's
and
awesome.
I was so excited. I like cried. I was like, oh my God. I've got the cutest pictures of her running. She looks like Wonder Woman. Like her hair, her red flaming hair is flowing behind her because my dad has cameras all over the outside of his house, and it alerts him when anyone walks up and shows a video of them. And so she knew that, and she was running to cover the camera, and she rang the doorbell. We have video of it, and you hear her. My dad's thing goes like that. And then it goes, you are being recorded, just like that. And she looked at the doorbell and she goes, oh no, it's recording me. You can hear her. And her boyfriend is like filming, right? She told him to film. And so he's like, oh, and she covers the camera and I come to the door and you hear me going, oh my God, Kate, right? And then her boyfriend Tommy goes, I didn't record any of that. She goes, are you joking? He goes, no, I thought I did. So anyway, that was such a lovely surprise. And we hung out for a little while. And then my sister came over with all her dog and her roommate's dog and her roommate's parents' dogs. And then I found a tiny toad. I mean, it's been crazy.
Oh my God.
So how are you, Jessica?
That is hilarious. I'm good.
Yeah.
I had a fun birthday gift. It was I think it's a fun idea, quarantine or not, but given these current times, my sister-in-law and brother-in-law sent me such an amazing gift for my birthday. They sent Alan and I a virtual wine tasting. But
virtual, that
was the Zoom part was with the person who led the wine tasting. I received a box a few days prior to that with 4 bottles of wine.
Oh my God. And then you Zoom with like a sommelier or something?
Yes. And
that
first of all,
is amazing.
It was you would have loved it. The wine was lovely enough, right? And also, I don't know if you're like this. I am. Like whenever I start a new class or go to a meeting or have to go to a seminar or anything, I'm always like, I feel weird. I'm not going to know anyone. I'm embarrassed. I'm scared. I get so weird and
me too.
Make up this cuckoo baloney business of what's going to happen and no one's going to like me and this is uncomfortable.
I don't belong here.
Yes. I really do. I think a lot of people are probably shocked to hear that I'm like that, and you for that matter, because we seem outgoing and like, we don't, anything goes. That's fine.
No.
I didn't know how to think about that, but I will tell you, it was lovely. There was a few other groups of people. So like there was a couple that was just north of us. The woman leading it is based in San Diego. There was a couple in San Francisco. There was a lovely bridal party of 6 women. They were actually the quietest. You'd think they'd be wild. No, everybody had their stuff on mute. They were in Washington State. It was like a small group of friends getting together for a bridal shower. And it was so lovely. It was very informative. It was really fun. And then the cutest part was the lady who runs it, who owns this company that puts together wine and wine tours and all that kind of stuff. Her mother from Canada, mind you, is where she was right now at Otter Lake, did appetizers in between each wine. And she was lovely. It was not weird or cheap. That was another thing. I'm like, oh, somebody's mom is going to be doing whatever. She was amazing. And everybody was like typing on the Zoom, your mother needs to have her own cooking show.
Aww.
So effortless. And she taught everybody very simple things. And she goes, well, I'm just a big believer. If I'm going to spend all the time and go to the trouble of making a dinner, I need my guests to be hungry for dinner and not filling up on hors d'oeuvres.
Oh my God.
So she taught like how to make very easy, like citrus marinated olives and roasted almonds and some crostini and like different things you could serve with that. It was an hour and a half. It was the perfect amount of time. And everyone was really lovely except, and I know you'll love this, there was a particular couple that was real
vocal?
proud of the fact that they're from San Francisco. Okay. God bless. It's my favorite city in the country, but they had to tell us 3 times within one sentence that they were from San Francisco. And I mean the city, actual San Francisco. A lot of people say they're from here and try to pass it off and they're not.
Okay.
And they kept going on. They kept letting us know how many wine clubs they belong to. They kept letting us know all the cities I've never heard of that they've traveled to. It was so, and like everybody else was like this. I mean, nobody
like
can see right now, but Dana frozen with this weird smile. Everybody you could tell was like, shut the fuck up. Alan, I kept, digging my elbow into him because we were sitting side by side at our dining table. I was digging my elbow into him. And then at one point, Alan, under his breath, goes, shut the fuck up, lady. And I wrote, while still staring at the Zoom, I wrote on the piece of paper, Alan, we are not on mute.
Oh, no.
Now, I don't think they heard, but I don't take those chances, okay?
People like that usually don't hear, but...
I don't think they do because she and her husband were trying to one-up each other.
Oh, God. Also, Alan is like the nicest, most patient.
I know. He could not take it anymore.
So much more patient than you and I.
Yes. But again, they didn't ruin it. It was a lovely experience. But again, everyone else was quiet, not like being a creepy quiet, just quiet. Let's let this woman talk about it. And then she would be like, all right, now does anyone have any questions about this? Or what do you think about the Rioja we just had? And if anyone said anything, they'd be like, oh, this is it, blah, blah, blah. And then those people had to derail it and talk about something completely different. So.
About San Francisco.
Yeah. And Napa, because they're near Napa.
Napa. Vocal fry. Napa.
I cannot. It was hilarious. But really,
But what an amazing gift. That's so cool.
It was so cool. I was so unexpected and I was so appreciative of it. It was really, really nice.
That's also such a inventive way of getting people together to still do some semblance of normalcy. You know what I mean? I would have never thought of that. What a wonderful
Me neither.
idea.
I know.
It's
great. And then, just everybody got their shipments. She emailed a whole packet of it. She also separately mailed the packet with all the recipes and the wine notes and all of that kind of stuff. And you know what else?
Work.
It is. You know what else was refreshing about it? This was not the woman running it who knows a whole lot about wine. She wasn't uppity in any way. She was very accessible, very down to earth. And she said, let me tell you something. I know a lot of experts in my industry may disagree, but whatever you like is what you like, whether it's a $4 bottle of wine or a $400 bottle of wine. She goes, everyone's taste is different. There's amazing things on the market for $10. There's amazing things on the market for $100. She goes, it doesn't matter. It's what your palate likes. So she's like, get that out of there and don't let people tell you or this and that or this kind of wine is crap. She's like, whatever you like, that's the right wine for you. So it was very nice in every way.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, that is lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, wow, wow. Yay!
Yeah.
I love that. You got that for your birthday too.
I
And it was like a
know.
long distance gift. That was
Totally.
so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
We
man.
would have done it with
Do you know what
people.
the company?
Devin Parr is her name. DevinParr.
That's super cool.
Mm-hmm. Devin Parr Associates, I think. I'm saying like that because it sounds there, but yeah.
Yeah, cool. People should look that up.
I'll
That's
link
really
to
neat.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's also something cool you could do with your friends.
Absolutely. Well, that was the thing too. She's like each tasting, meaning like each household it's going to, can host up to, I think she said 8 people within that pairing. Most of it was just the 2 people. The other people that were near us, a little north of LA, also were home because they're like, our friends aren't coming over right now and whatever. So that was the only thing. If it was not COVID times, and also if it was not 1 billion degrees, I would have asked friends that I could have invited ourselves over to their patio if they have a house and be like, hey, do you want a free wine tasting with us? But I didn't know if I could get Wi-Fi outside, and it was over 100 degrees here. So I'm like, well, it's just going to be us. And then we'll just have to finish these wines when we can.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
So you had to drink all that wine by yourself.
It was really good. One we had to finish because it was a bottle of Brut of sparkling wine.
Ooh, I love a sparkling wine.
You would have really liked it. And I liked it because it wasn't like so sweet as they normally are.
Oh, you like a dry?
I think I do. I don't really like dry wine with red wine, but as time goes on, I think I'm becoming a bigger fan of dry wines in general. Tastes change.
I don't know. Yes, it happens. It really does. Before, like sometimes with spouses, I'm not my spouse. I'm just saying. No, my poor Dan Tipton, he's all alone in LA and he's so sad. He sees all the pictures and talks to us and he's like, I want to see frogs. I want to be with you guys. Before we head into our rants, I would just like to give a shout out to my hometown city council, Springfield, Missouri, for passing a mask mandate today. People in town were already organizing protests against the mandate. So they said that they will be protesting outside City Hall until the mandate is lifted, which the mandate has been set for 90 days. And I said, great, that way I'll know where they all are and I can safely be out in public with my mask with them far away. So anyway, cheers to the city council in my hometown. And that's all I'll say about it.
Great.
Yeah, right?
Yes.
So anyway, who's up on rants first today, Jessica?
I think you are. Oh, but you know what? Really quick, everybody, since we keep forgetting to do this, I'm going to let Dana go right into her rant after I tell you how you can get in touch with us. You can find us on social media, on Instagram and Facebook at the Rants and Raves Podcast. At Twitter, we're still there, at raves_the. Email us at the Rants and Raves Podcast at gmail.com or through our contact button, www.therantsandраvespodcast.com, or again, DM on Instagram works like a charm. You can also DM us on Facebook, whatever works for you.
Get in touch with us, guys, especially right now. We've all got new kinds of rants that we've never had to deal with before. So please send us those so that we can help you rant it out.
Exactly.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and go into my rant, Jessica. My rant today is when the person in the express line at the checkout has way more than 10 item limit in their cart, but no one calls them out. So you know the lines that say 10 items or less. Sometimes it's 15 items or less, right?
Yes.
So here's the thing. I can be patient if it's a 10 item limit and you've got 12 or 13, I'm not going to notice. I'm definitely not going to call you out. But if you have 32 frozen dinners, individual dinners, and you're trying to say that that's one item, you know who will call you out? Who will call you out real quick is Dana freaking Powell, because I will not stand for it. And then I will also say to the clerk, are you going to allow this?
Oh my God.
because I'm mouthy. I'll be like, they have 32 frozen dinners plus their other 11 items. Are you gonna? I got in this line because it's supposed to be quicker because I follow the rules. This is a real situation that happened one time. And the clerk was like, I've already begun. I mean, I made that person's life miserable too. There was no winning for that person.
Hilarious.
And the other person wouldn't look at me, wouldn't speak to me because they knew they were wrong. So they acted like they were deaf, and I just kept talking.
Oh my God. That's the worst part, is the glazing over of what you're saying, right? And no recognition.
Oh, yeah. Wouldn't look at me, wouldn't listen, just like they were deaf. And I'm like, and I even said at one point, I was like, even if you are deaf, you can read. The sign says.
Oh my God.
Which I knew they weren't deaf because they were talking. He was talking to her spouse. So I knew, like, that would have been very, very rude if it probably still was rude. So, but anyway,
I'm crying.
It's a character flaw I have. Someone told me once, this is a problem for you, that saying like all is fair in love and war. Not everything is just and right, Dana. And you seem to think you are the bearer of justice and rightness.
You know what? Somebody has to be.
It's not good.
Well,
thank you, Jessica.
I mean
Otherwise,
that.
everybody would be going through the 10 item or less line.
It would be lawless, and we may as well be living in Deadwood or Tombstone or any other Arizona town. That's even where they are.
Right.
One's in the Dakotas.
Right?
It makes me
I don't know geography. I was just going by movies.
Hilarious.
I know.
It's not like nobody's here, so who cares whether you're in the right lane or the wrong lane? There's no line. There's always a line, especially nowadays. And let me tell you something. I ran to Target last night. I didn't want to, but now that LA is going back on lockdown, like the beginning, I was
lockdown, yeah.
I don't want to be that person and freak out, but I also don't want to be without toilet paper or paper towels ever again. Okay. I ran to Target because there's one near me, and I figured I'll just go. If it's a line, I'm not going to wait. I went in, there was no line. There's a lot of people there, but as I'm walking in, P.S. there's a man pushing a cart that has so much paper goods on it that it can't stay in the cart. So I had to really check myself because I instantly got really angry, not frustrated, angry.
I would just do it. Yeah. I would do a drive-by. Shame on you. That's what I would do. I'd walk by and go, shame on you.
First of all, my first thought was, oh my God, is this where we are again? Like we're back to this, like people hoarding and going crazy instead of getting what you need so that we can all have what we need, and we have to replenish it when we can. I got my paper goods and some other like basic essentials because I don't want to be going out since things are bad here right now. And I was waiting in line, and I had a good probably 30 things in my cart. Okay. Like deodorant and whatever else. I don't know why I feel the need to tell everyone what the hell was in my cart at Target. I'm going to stop with that.
Well, you just wanted us to know that your pits don't stink. So that's cool. I'm glad. I'm happy for you, Jessica.
What is she getting 30 items of at Target during a pandemic? Okay.
All deodorant. All of it deodorant.
But there was people that walked up behind me that one was carrying like a jug of laundry detergent, and I don't even know what the other thing was. And I said, please go. And they said, no.
Go
I said,
ahead.
Yes,
yeah.
Go in front of me. I have a full cart. And
I do that too.
items.
Yeah.
So more people need to do that too, because there's nothing I hate more than when you have run in literally to get a half a carton of milk, a few sticks of butter, a bouquet of flowers at the last minute to take as a host gift when we actually did that back in the day. And then you walk up and everybody has carts that are overflowing, and nobody just says, oh, let the lady with a bouquet of flowers go through. That'll be done in 2 seconds. No, let's make her wait a half an hour.
Well, this mouthy person, I have also been like, excuse me, I only have this one item. Would you mind if I check out ahead of your cart? I will ask if people don't offer. And 9 times out of 10, they'll say yes, because then if they say no, they look like such a jerk, you know? And in fact, I don't think I've ever had anybody tell me no. But then I'm very appreciative and I go, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I do my best to like have my cart out, be ready, and get out of the way.
Common decency.
Yeah.
Common decency.
Well, and the reason that people continue to get in lines like that, continue to butt all the things that make me like my eyeballs shake while I'm speaking to you. I say the reason they do it is because nobody does call them out.
Right.
So they get away with it and they don't feel bad.
No,
if they
totally.
are made now, some people don't care if they don't feel bad. They're like borderline psychopaths and they don't give a crap what anybody thinks about them. And those people might murder you anyway, so leave them alone. But most regular humans are eventually going to be like, I don't want somebody calling me out like that in front of everybody again. So I'll just not do it. You know?
Exactly.
So if they got called out enough, it's like bullies. When you stand up to them enough, eventually they go away. But if it's easy for them and there's no repercussions, why would they stop?
Well, they won't stop, Dana. And that's why we need more people like you in this world to call them out on
Thank you, Jessica.
Yeah.
We need more Mouthy Danas. You know what? Let's start a Mouthy Dana group. Hashtag Mouthy Dana. Get your full cart out of the 10 item or less lane.
Okay.
Hashtag Mouthy Dana. Put on a dang mask. Hashtag Mouthy Dana. Like, come on, people. Come on.
I saw some masks at Big Sugar, you know, the bakery that I'm obsessed with. I really wanted to get one for you and one for me. And then I
What's
was
it
like,
say?
Well, one of them says back the fuck up.
Yes.
And then another one said a bunch of little things that we would know is funny, but somebody would have to get close to read. But I refrained, and when I left, I said I'm probably going to regret not getting those masks. But then I realized I don't need to incite anything inflammatory.
Right. That's the only thing. Yeah.
Right. And we had talked about this, I think, in the last show. I picked up my masks from your lovely and amazing nanny who is making masks. And we're going to have to post some pictures of Dana and her family and their masks if they're willing. And then me and Alan and our masks. Those are the best fitting masks yet.
Right. They're
and
adjustable
really
on the
upset.
Sides. I know that's the only masks my dad will wear now because they're adjustable on the side and it's comfortable. It's not right up on your mouth or nose.
Yep.
She builds it so it has like the space in between the filter and your face and you can breathe easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're amazing. And they don't pin my ears down.
They don't pull
forward.
Yeah. They've got
amazing.
that nylon earpieces that are so soft they don't hurt. Because I had, when I traveled here, you know, I did take a plane and I was terrified. And so I had that mask on for like 13 hours straight. And never once was I uncomfortable, like legitimately uncomfortable. It's obviously uncomfortable. We're just not used to wearing them.
Sure.
So that bit of discomfort is just because we've never done it before. But like legitimately, it didn't pull on my ears. It didn't restrict my breathing. It just was amazing.
Exactly.
And we've heard a lot of news stories about people telling people to, back the fuck up and getting in fights. And so I don't really want to have like a physical fight with somebody. So what I've taken to doing at a store, because I've had to go out for some essentials, and if someone gets too close to me, I take it upon myself to back up. But then I also go, no. So between the no no's and the slow backing up, they get the idea of like, oh, she doesn't want me close to her, but it's not offensive. I'm hoping. Nobody's picked a fight with me yet. They've definitely looked at me, but I just back away and go, no.
That's a very nice no.
Thank you.
Really?
I'm like, I don't want to fight you, but I need you to back the fuck up. Right.
Oh,
for both of us. God. Honestly, you don't know where I've been and I don't know where you've been.
100%.
But also, if you got more than 10 items in your cart, I'm going to say something to you besides no.
So rude.
Don't break the rules, guys. Not the simple rules. That's such an easy one. Don't do that. Are you really gonna save what? 10 minutes max by going through that line?
Well, another thing
is it worth it to like?
Yes. I mean, I'm not saying yes, it's worth it. I'm agreeing with you. I notice now that there's a lot, especially in LA at least, there's a line, as there should be, to get into certain places like, oh, I don't know, Trader Joe's, because they care and they've been really amazing from day one for the safety of
They're
their employees
so
and the safety
good.
of their customers. I
Yeah.
haven't seen anyone.
If you have a
running
Trader
things that good.
Joe's,
Go.
exactly. If you have a Trader Joe's near you, go. When I went to meet my husband in New Mexico and grab my son and Krista Marie, on the way back, we wanted to refill on groceries because we were eating in the car from a cooler, trying to stop as little as possible. And Trader Joe's is where we chose to go. My sister's friend Kat went. She was so excited because they don't have a Trader Joe's here. We had to wait in a small line, but they had marked out social distancing. They were sanitizing all the carts and baskets. I mean, they were wonderful. It was,
Totally.
I felt much safer in there, even if it was just on appearance alone. I was like, at least they are enforcing social distancing, and that does make a difference.
They are. And I got to tell you, Target had a giant, and I'm good on Target for this, a giant banner in bold letters stating you must be masked at all times within their store. It is not a negotiation. Like, I don't remember how it was. I wish I took a picture of it. I was like, okay, Target.
Yeah. We've got to get a
it was
handle
right there.
on this.
If you don't like it, then you get to not go in there.
Yeah, order online. Like, that's an option. Everybody can order from almost every store online. And if you don't want to wear a mask, okay, then don't go to the store. Anyway, we're getting on a soapbox again.
I know, right?
It's hard not to, because I do want to say this is not over. We as Americans are back at step one, phase one. Other countries have managed to get a hold on this. We're in this together, guys. We really are. It's not political. People keep saying, oh, it's politicized. That's human intervention. It doesn't need to be political. This is about saving lives. Otherwise, this is probably Mother Nature's way of culling the fields, if you know what I mean, like some population control. And we're handing over a lot of lives. So let's please be mindful and careful, because I don't want to lose anybody. And speaking of that, Jessica, I hope you don't mind if we give a shout out to some of your friends who recently lost their sister. We love them so much.
The Terrell sisters.
The Terrell sisters have lost one of their sisters. There were 5 of them, right? 5 of them. So we're just sending our love. They're kind of part of our pod squad. They're very supportive, and so we're sending our love to them.
Welcome to the fam podcast.
Yes.
And it's really, really tragic. So we're sending all of our love to them.
Yeah, they're such a sweet, sweet family. I said, I've never met any of them in person, but through their podcast, through their posting, through their love for you, I see how big their hearts are, all the things that they do for their community. And we're just I hope they get back what they've given tenfold, because they're a pretty amazing family. So we're sending our love out to them.
So much love to them.
What's your rant, Jessica?
Pardon. My rant.
Did you just say pardon?
I did. So it's getting hot in here.
You just put your hair up. Pardon.
My rant is dealing with the majority of messages on the Nextdoor app being complaints.
Oh my God, it's getting crazy.
Nonstop complaining and overreactions.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm not kidding when I tell, when that first came out, I'm like, well, this is a great idea. And yes, I would like to know that there was a break-in on my street last night. You know what?
It's a digital neighborhood watch.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know what I don't need to know, Dana?
What, Jessica?
That somebody's dog shit in my neighbor's yard yesterday, and they didn't care for that.
Well, Jessica, that feels like an emergency for your home.
The amount of posts that are like, I don't understand how another person could bring and then somebody's like, well, did they leave it there? No, they picked it up, but it's my lawn. And then you'll look and there's 37 replies about dog shit, where meanwhile, the important one about somebody's house getting cased and 3 other people saying, yeah, I saw that same white truck pull up, gets buried because of these ding-dongs, replying Susie Q, who's on Nextdoor every day, replying about her dog shit. Or that somebody walked by and looked at her. I don't know. I'm not saying they did anything, but they might be suspicious. And all joking aside, that actually starts to really freak me out. Yes, I hope people pay attention and go, because I do notice, I'm like, I've never seen that car here. Now, I don't say that every time a car pulls up. I say it if it's a car where I can't really see in the windows, or I can, and the person looks pretty messed up, either like they're intoxicated or, they do look shady. I'm sorry. It's without question. This isn't like profiling anyone. This is like the cars that come around our neighborhood that are looking for packages to steal, because it's a real big thing where I am, like major. You do not need to freak out every time somebody walks down the street, which I feel like a lot of people do on Nextdoor in particular in my neighborhood. And that kind of stuff really bugs me too, because then I think that's where you get into real dangerous territory. It's like, oh, so it was a teenager that you didn't recognize. Were they doing anything? Did they touch anything? Were they suspiciously looking at anything? It absolutely drives me crazy. And I unfortunately have the alerts on my phone, and it blows up all the time with all kinds of baloney business and garbage about Nextdoor. I'm glad I'm not on Citizen, which apparently is even worse.
I was for a little bit. I had to delete it. I don't have notifications on my Nextdoor. I get them in email every once in a while if it's an urgent one. And when it says urgent and it's about dog poop, it makes me aggravated. Right. So what I do, and this is probably not healthy for me, because when I do it, then it kind of takes over. I go down a rabbit hole. But instead, I listen to a live stream of a police scanner. If something crazy seems to be going on in my neighborhood, I just listen to a live stream, which you can do in any community. Your police station online usually streams it. And then you literally hear every single thing going on in your neighborhood.
Right.
And it's not about dog poop, but that can also be terrifying as well.
That might actually scare me.
It's
even though
it is a little scary.
And that never happened, and I'm kind of sad.
Yeah, that would have been, I know, that would have been kind of cool. Interesting to see what goes on throughout the day.
As long as it wasn't too scary, right? I'm trying to find this from who it was in particular, so I apologize. But I did want to mention that one of our listeners had written into us. Remember how we were talking about, people saying there was a bit of an altercation that happened on social media, and you were offering to help somebody, and they said they didn't need help, and blah, blah, blah. So apologies that I don't know this listener. Not that we have to tell everyone's name every time. Maybe they don't want us to. I'm still weird about that. We're over a year in, and I'm like, are we allowed to say someone's name? But a listener told us, wrote in after that episode, that there is something on WhatsApp where you can find help. And there's people, not WhatsApp, excuse me, Nextdoor, the app.
Oh,
you can find a help section on Nextdoor, like needing somebody to shop or looking for certain things. So within your neighborhood and your smaller little area, there are ways to find help. So that was a little bit of a be mindful. Thank you, listener.
I like that. Yeah, thank you so much.
Another way.
Yeah, that's valuable information.
Yes.
Absolutely. Remember I told you one time I was out and about and I saw some young people delivering to an apartment building. There were several elderly couples with their masks on at the gate waiting for their groceries. Some young people were delivering groceries to them. And I know also a lot of the larger stores have morning times where the elderly and infirmed can go shop. That's also a wonderful opportunity. But I love knowing that app, there is some goodness on there instead of just crazy.
Okay. Instead of 100 Mrs. Kravitz.
Yes. I also think it's really important, Mrs. Kravitz, really important when someone loses a pet or something. That's an excellent tool. So we thought Ollie was lost once, and he was really just trapped in my neighbor's backyard because he's too big to jump a fence. But the thing is, like, I put that up and I put the poster, the pictures of him and stuff, and people were very kind, and I got tons of messages, and I would get an alert and I would get excited thinking, oh, somebody has information or somebody's seen him, and they would go, pretty cat, hope you find him. I'm like, oh, that's not what this is for. Thank you. I think he's pretty too. That's why I am devastated that he's gone. And I think somebody might have taken him because he's so pretty. And I thought you had information about him. And so now I'm heartbroken again. I appreciate the compliment, but maybe this is not the forum for it.
I mean, I couldn't agree more. And that is kind of like why most people don't enjoy being on a group text with comedians, because everything becomes a bit.
Oh my God.
we've again gone off topic of what the original text was about. And it's just lots of wacky anecdotes that didn't help or answer the question, right?
And oftentimes don't even make sense by the end.
Okay.
Right?
Oh my God.
Oh man. Jessica, do you feel like you need a cleansing breath?
I do. You know what? I'm so glad. Like, this is the first time that we're not going to forget it in a long time. I wrote it in bold so we would both.
I know you put it in all caps in the outline. So, yes, I love it. Okay, so we sort of fell off of our game for a little bit, which, come on, we got to give ourselves a pass. It's been a lot the last few months for both of us.
Totally.
But we forgot one of the staples of our show is after our rants, we do a cleansing breath. We get all that yucky out and then we fill up with goodness. So please, if everybody's kind of by themselves, right? Like shut yourself in a closet, do this cleansing breath with us and maybe scream it out if you need to.
Do it.
So we're going to take a deep breath in. And
It's great.
Oh, yay. That felt nice.
Did feel nice.
That felt nice. I'm glad we have it back.
Me too.
All right, Jessica.
It's corner time.
Are we ready for our corners?
We are.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, because you've been so kind to put together outlines lately because I cannot get it together.
Well, Dana edits every episode, so
Jessica,
I can do.
Oh, come on. Anyway, guess what my corner is, Jessica?
I don't know. What is it?
It might be a weirdo of the week.
What? You're weird. You're so very weird. Why must you bring your weirdness here during quarantine?
I like that addition. I like that.
Oh my God.
Okay. Are we ready for this?
Uh-huh.
Here we go, Jessica.
Lay it on me.
Louisiana man faces charges for swimming in sporting goods store fish tank.
Blech.
The suspect told reporters, oh, sorry, guys. This is from HuffPost from June 29th. It is by, I don't know. It probably says at the end. I'll tell you later. Okay. The suspect told reporters he plunged into an indoor aquarium at a Bass Pro Shop. I knew when I got this, I was like, it's got to be at a Bass Pro.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, he plunged into an indoor aquarium at a Bass Pro Shop in Bossier City to celebrate getting 2,000 likes on TikTok. Sir,
I can't.
come on. Police in Louisiana were able to reel in a man. Okay. Reel in a man. Come on. Out of the aquarium. Is this a Moye? Is this a Greenlee? Is it a Greenlee or a Moye? Come on now. Police in Louisiana were able to reel in a man captured on video swimming through a fish tank at a sporting goods store. Kevin Wise, 26, told KSLA TV that he plunged into the indoor aquarium at a Bass Pro Shop last week to follow through on a promise he made to followers on the social media TikTok platform. I said, if I got 2,000 likes, I'd jump in the tank, Wise said. I got way more than that, and I just didn't want to be a liar. Ugh. A video captured by shopper Treasure McGraw. I love it. Shopper. The shopper's name was Treasure McGraw. Love it.
Real. Showed
Wise swimming through the tank before climbing out and running from the store with wet clothes. Yeah, because he knew. He knew he's not supposed to do that. No. We heard a big splash, and I thought it was one of the fish, McGraw told the news outlet. My fiance was like, somebody's in the tank. And we saw the guy swimming. Bass Pro Shops filed a complaint with the Bossier City Police Department on Friday, saying it cost them money to empty. Oh my gosh, I forgot. It cost them money to empty out the 13,000-gallon aquarium and clean it after Wise's swim, because those habitats are very closely maintained. And like anybody that goes in to feed those fish and stuff, they're in suits, like they have special marine biology biologists that handle that kind of stuff. This guy was like, dope, jumped in, probably in his flip-flops and shorts.
God help me if with the amount of schooling required to become a marine biologist, they're going in to feed fish at a Bass Pro Shop.
Oh, Jessica, that's the truth. I'm not joking. At Bass Pro,
Seriously?
they have these, yes, they have these massive tanks. And
I
they have to
know.
have,
Alan worked at one in Canada.
They have to have specialists to maintain the habitats. You crazy person.
Alan worked at one in Canada, and that tank was gigantic. Also, I hope that dude caught some kind of amoeba algae feeding bacteria from jumping in there.
Oh
How
my
dare
God.
you?
Well, we just talked last week about the guy who went kayaking and got that thing that was eating his brain. Like,
Oh,
what in the world was this dude thinking? And I'm sorry, 2,000 TikTok likes? Not worth it.
Thank you. It's not like it was 2 million. And also be like, I'm going to jump in this lake in Wisconsin when it's below freezing.
Right. That's not going to hurt a habitat. They're not going to have to empty out the lake.
Also, to empty that whole thing, which, and rightfully so,
13,000 gallons.
And what the hell did they do with all the fish in there? Do you know what a production it is if you're properly maintaining a single betta fish in a bowl on your kitchen counter?
Right?
That's a lot of work.
Right.
And remember, did you ever have a fish? You had to keep some of the old dirty water and put the fish in there so that it didn't totally shock its system to replenish it in the clean water. Oh, brother.
Yes. And those fish, I mean, I don't know, a 13,000 gallon tank, that's a pretty big tank. So who knows how huge some of those fish were.
Seriously.
Also, not for nothing, but they're talking about shutting down TikTok anyway, dude.
Why?
I forget what it was a government thing. I guess it's owned by, I don't want to get this wrong. It's owned by another country. I think an Asian country. And they're saying that I guess in their country it was used for some kind of campaigning issues. I'm saying this all wrong. Google it, guys, because I don't want to be wrong. Anyway, there's talk about shutting TikTok down. So if you go on TikTok right now, there are a lot of people, or at least a couple of days days ago there were. I'm kind of slow on the uptake with news right now because I'm in a weird place. But people were starting to post, hey, if TikTok gets shut down, follow me on Instagram, follow my YouTube channel, whatever. This guy's like, yeah, I'm gonna jump in a fish tank for 2,000 likes on TikTok. Wise was charged with simple criminal damage to property and released with a citation to appear in court. He told KSLA TV that he planned on continuing to make videos for his followers, but cautioned others against doing similar spur-of-the-moment pranks. Sir, that wasn't spur of the moment if you were on TikTok telling people you'd do it if you got so many likes. Okay. I don't think you understand the definition of spur of the moment. That was premeditated.
Maybe next time.
So that's the guy we're dealing with.
Maybe next time he'll jump in the tank of fish pillows. Are you familiar with those at Bass Pro? No. They have the biggest, it's like a playpen for pigs at a county fair or something, filled with pillows that are life size, like body pillows of most major freshwater fish. I know this because Alan bought our nephew a salmon pillow. That is one ugly looking fish, okay? And it has the weird salmon mouth, and it's life size. It was bigger than the kid, and he loves it to this day. Even though he's a teenager now, whenever he's in Canada, he always pulls out the salmon pillow.
That is so weird.
They're real weird, okay?
Oh my God.
I was gonna say, take your child. He would quite enjoy a Bass Pro Shop with all of the pillows and swimmings going on. But don't go there now.
That is crazy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that now I think my town's kind of shutting up too.
Yeah.
Everybody's got to shutter their doors for a little bit because it's insanity.
Yeah.
I love to hate that story.
I mean, it's just beyond. It's so grody. I'm sorry.
It's
we used to have
so
to get
dumb and for no good reason. I don't see an author on this article, so I apologize to the author, but it was a HuffPost weird news, and I think they got it probably from Associated Press. So anyway, thank you so much, HuffPost, and thank you, Jessica, for finding an amazing corner again.
Oh my God.
You're weird.
You're so very weird. Okay,
What you got?
This is on the I wish I had a pun for this segue, but it's on the same level below sea level. That is.
Ew! What kind of corner is it?
It's a what the what?
What the what?
This is from the Mirror, a favorite weird news source in the UK. New species of walking sharks discovered in Australia use fins to move on land.
Okay, I've seen a video. Please continue.
Yep. Instead of swimming, the new technique helps the shark hunt in the waters off northern Australia, and once learnt, has now been passed on to their offspring from birth. So,
oh my God.
For all of you that don't believe in evolution, here's a little lesson for you. It's real, okay? A new species of shark has been discovered in Australia, and they use their fins to walk on land. The sharks walk around on the bottom of the seafloor, making it easier for them to catch their prey. Instead of swimming, the new technique helps them hunt, and they're repeating the same info. We know it's been passed on to their offspring. Experts have been aware of walking sharks in recent years and say they have predators. The predators have big advantages by being able to move along the seafloor rather than swimming. Research published in the journal Marine and Freshwater Research says it appears to help the sharks hunt for ground-dwelling prey. Now that is interesting because if you know anything about sharks, they're going for stuff a lot closer to the surface of the water, right? They're not diving for stuff
scary
or typically. Mark Erdman, a co-author of the study, said instead of swimming around, these little bottom-dwelling sharks actually walk using their pectoral and pelvic fins, which make it easier for them to poke their heads under coral and rocks as they look for small fish, snails, and crustaceans to eat. We found the most walking sharks spend their entire lives on the same reef where they hatched, never really moving more than a mile out of this radius. That's really interesting because sharks travel an insane distance, as do whales. Like
totally
around the world sometimes.
Yeah, there are some sharks that we really don't know that much about because they're constantly on the move.
Yes. The only way they can get across deep water or move a significant distance would be if they are on a reef that is moving due to tectonic plates shifting. You guys know I want to be a marine biologist. Surely I've mentioned it at least once, if not 20 times on this show. Maybe I haven't, but I did. And so this fascinates me.
Yeah.
Also, you know how they have Shark Week on Discovery? It's not called Shark Week. I think it's called like Shark Escape or something, but Nat Geo is having their own week of shark things starting this Sunday. So maybe we'll get a little peep into the walking sharks. Maybe not, but I'm just going to hope for the best.
Yes.
Anyways, I do think that's really, really cool that when animals adapt to
they have to
their environments. And then it really is fascinating to me because you've sent me an article recently about something about like memories and trauma being passed down to people. So this is insane to me that this is not something that this species already did. It started doing it, and now the offspring do it too. The offspring do it too. Yeah, in that article that I sent you, we don't have it in front of us, but it was interesting. It was talking about generational trauma. And so, like, if you have a parent who was abused, unfortunately, when they were young, they will sometimes pass on some of those insecurities and behaviors to other generations. And so, for example, they did a study on honeybees, and I forget what it was they made the bees afraid of. It was something not harmful, but they scared them about it. And so they found, let's just pretend it was oranges. That's not right.
But let's just say for the sake of my story, it is. So they made this one generation of bees afraid of oranges, we're pretending. And then the generations after that avoided oranges, the pretend oranges, at all costs, even though they had never been traumatized by oranges. That was a learned behavior from their ancestors. And they're using that to prove that there is generational trauma and you do pass that on to later generations, even generations that never lived with you, because it's a learned behavior that keeps going and going. It's really fascinating.
It is.
I think if I saw a shark walking, I would be so scared. It's like when zombie movies started turning into rage runs instead of slow, like blah, blah, blah. That was the most terrifying thing to me. Now I'm going to have nightmares about sharks running as fast as they can at me.
Oh my God. Tiptoeing on their little fins.
But so fast. Just like rage running at me with their fins. Yeah.
I want you to draw a picture of a shark on a rage run.
Oh my God, I should, right?
Yes, you should.
I want to get back. Things are kind of slowing down for me. So I want to get back to my drawings. I bought some special little postcards. So Alan should be expecting one in the next 6 months.
Oh.
I've had my idea for Alan's for at least 3 months now, and I just haven't had a chance to get it yet.
I love it. Is it his face on Jason Momoa's body holding a fishing spear?
Jessica.
Trident? No, I'm not saying that, and I'm not saying it needs to be his body. I'm acting like people know. Alan has been working on a fishing spear. Yes, you heard it right.
It's the coolest
spear, and it's He ordered what I call a trident, the metal piece to put on the end of it, which looks like what Momoa holds as Aquaman. Okay?
Okay.
I literally
you know
said,
what?
Are you planning on going as Aquaman for Halloween this year?
You know what? You can make fun all you want, but we're ready to head into a depression. I have family who own cattle, and people are not buying cattle anymore because the processing plants are shutting down. So when everyone else is starving and you're having yummy, yummy fish for dinner because your husband Momoa'd his way to dinner, you are going to have to eat crow.
You know what? Maybe he can bring his fishing spear to Bass Pro and just hook one right in that tank in front of everybody, and we'll put it on TikTok and become millionaires.
You'll get 2,000 likes.
We'll have Dana to thank for it because she's been trying to get me on that platform for the last 7 months.
But I'm not in support of spearing a Bass Pro aquarium fish. I would say no.
I know. No, he would never do that.
I know he wouldn't. Okay, are we ready to move into our raves?
We are.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
So the one that I'm up first, right? Is that correct?
Sure.
Am I not?
Yeah, you are.
I didn't. Oh, okay. Sorry. I wasn't looking at the outline and I don't want to lose my place. We're so professional. A day late on release, and then we can't get our act together on the show. Rants and Raves podcast. Bam. Okay. This organization is called A Place Called Home. A Place Called Home provides a safe, nurturing environment with proven programs in arts, education, and wellness for the young people in South Central Los Angeles to help them improve their economic conditions and develop healthy, fulfilling, and purposeful lives. I love that because just in talking about generational trauma, people that grow up in a harder environment, some of those behaviors, whatever, you get into nature versus nurture or whatever. But I love that someone's giving them an example of how they can better their situation. It's really, really wonderful. A Place Called Home has served South Central youth and families with its life-changing programs for 26 years. During these uncertain times, one thing is still for sure. APCH is still here, resolved to serve our community in the midst of this crisis and beyond. I love that I'm reading straight off of their website here, apch.org. apch.org. They put up a note concerning the pandemic and COVID right now. In the face of the coronavirus emergency, APCH quickly mobilized to respond to urgent and ongoing needs of youth and families that were already struggling with poverty. Since temporarily suspending regular operations on our campus, we have launched a family resource depot to deliver groceries, household necessities, books, and art supplies to local families in need. An online APCH programs hub to provide our members with daily access to academic tutoring. Oh, parents, this, LA schools are not opening in the fall, and I think a lot of schools are going to follow suit. It's rough. It's hard. So what a wonderful tool. Access to academic tutoring, mental health counseling, robust arts programming, critical. Robust arts programming, robots. I wish it was robot art.
Is it robust?
Robust. Yes.
It's an odd choice of words.
Robust arts programming, athletics, and intensive college preparation and career readiness support. As we head into what will likely be a long-term economic crisis, our youth and families need APCH now more than ever, and APCH needs you. We invite you to check this page weekly for fresh updates on our work during these unprecedented times and to learn more about how you can continue to support the community. So I love that, but I also wanted to share, Jessica, you also sent, we've talked about it before, but it's greatnonprofits.org. Where they give you all the information you could possibly want about a nonprofit. It gives you an overview. It tells you what their causes are, what their mission is. So I already told you what their mission is, but it also shows the results of what they've done. So for a place called Home specifically, they have the results here, and I won't read all of them, but it's pretty incredible. In 2010, nearly 50% of students in our programs were able to increase their skills by a full grade level. Remaining students still increased by half a grade level. 3,000 hours of free comprehensive mental health counseling services for students and their families. Computer training and access for homework. Most of our kids have no computers at home. Over 3,000 nutritious meals were served every month to youths who lived below the poverty line. They offer college prep and scholarships, Jessica, for students who once did not believe that college was a viable or affordable option for them. The list just goes on and on. It tells you this website, the greatnonprofits.org, they tell you their target demographics, the direct beneficiaries per year, geographic areas. So like this particular nonprofit is a South Los Angeles program. But we always say, if something really sparks your interest, actually, that's the name of our Pod Squad, friends. Spark my interest.
Exactly.
Anyway, but if something inspires you and you don't have an outreach program like that in your community, somebody's already done it.
Yes.
I bet you anything, if you contact them and say, hey, I want to open a chapter here, or I want to open my own that does what you do for my community. Can you give me some advice or help me out? I bet you anything they would.
Absolutely.
So that's always interesting to me. So anyway, I'll go ahead and wrap it up, but there's community and volunteer initiatives. They empower parents and members towards advocacy. It goes on and on. It's a wonderful organization. Clearly it's listed on greatnonprofits.org. That's where you can go to find out all about all kinds, like see if this nonprofit you're looking into is really legit. So that's greatnonprofits.org. But a place called Home organization is the nonprofit that we're covering today. And that is www.apch.org, a place called Home, helping young people in South Central LA. So that was a beautiful organization. Thank you, Jessica, for sending that.
Of course. Thank you. My rave today is something that I stumbled upon. It's crazy because I think I've told you guys I've taken to watching the Today Show most days of the week. Now, I did it when I was in high school because I was already living like a 50-year-old woman when I was a teenager, but I never was watching morning talk shows anymore. And I would have probably seen this on my own, but my friend posted this and I was just stopped in my tracks to read this story. So my friend named Heather, who owns Bradley Beauty, I'm not trying to plug her business, I'm just giving a point of reference. She gives
not a sponsor, but hello, Heather.
I wish she was. She gives the best facial you've ever had in your life. And She is the eyebrow queen. That's kind of how she like got her start. But she has a business
Can
here
she
in
give
LA.
me? Can she give me eyebrows?
She
Can she
might.
give me eyebrows? Because mine don't exist.
How to behave. She even came up with a product called Brow Behave, and it's all about teaching your brows how to grow and all of that stuff. We could have a whole.
Yeah, can she teach them how to grow?
I'm going to ask her about that. Her nephew was just featured on the Today Show, and I want to play this for everyone because his story really, really captured my heart, and I know it's going to capture yours. And again, this is another example of somebody being so selfless, and I am just totally humbled and blown away by where his mind is given what he personally is going through at this time.
He had stayed here for 78 days battling right on the front lines until he discovered some life-threatening news of his own.
My name's Ian Youngblood. I'm originally from Seattle, Washington, living in Phoenix, Arizona now.
We first met 29-year-old ER nurse Ian Youngblood back in April when he arrived in New York City to help fight the COVID-19 battle on the front lines.
You have providers breaking left and right, but then they're still going out the next day and they're being strong for someone else.
Ian is known by his colleagues for not just being an incredible nurse, but having a heart of gold.
When we first met Ian, all I remember seeing was this huge smile. It was this guy who had this bubbly personality and this huge, huge smile that you can't forget.
He's such a selfless person. He loves to help people. And you could see that desire in him when he would go to work.
All right, now we're okay.
And even in the hardest times, Ian can find joy. Like swing dancing in the middle of Times Square. Ian is also a former firefighter and tough as nails. Which is why, friends say, it was odd when he began complaining of excruciating headaches and nausea. They convinced him to get an MRI. The results came back with a devastating diagnosis: glioblastoma, an aggressive form of brain cancer.
Glioblastoma has been one of the hardest cancers to treat in the history of mankind.
Ian's neuro-oncologist, Dr. Nader Sanai of the Ivy Brain Tumor Center in Phoenix, says there are patients who can survive this cancer, and his hope is for Ian to be one of them.
Get back to life. We want him to get back to work. We want him to be active, and certainly want him to do things that are meaningful for him.
Ian has since had surgery to remove part of his brain tumor, and his friends have set up a GoFundMe account to help him with the cost of his treatments. Ian is now back home in Phoenix, getting ready to begin chemo. Hey, Ian, it's so good to see you. So just tell me how you're doing right now.
I'm doing good. I'm just taking one day at a time. The most I can do is just take a breath each day and go from there. You can see I have this nice zipper that goes all the way across my head, which is definitely strange. It was odd being in the bed rather than the person taking care of the person in the bed.
It seems like you are by nature a helper. You were a firefighter. You went to nursing after that. Is that sort of in your DNA?
Yeah, I remember back when I was a little kid just doing little tiny things to help other people. And it's funny when you look back at your past experiences and how it kind of draws you towards your current career and profession.
There's a moment where anyone's life would change completely. But when you heard the doctor say to you, Ian, you have brain cancer, what did you think in that moment, Ian?
I mean, first, no one ever expects at 29 that you're going to get diagnosed with something that could potentially take your life in 2 years, depending on what statistic you read. So to answer your question, it's, it just kind of like, I'm 29, like, it kind of hits you kind of strange.
What are they saying the prognosis is? I mean, I'm looking at you, you look great, you've got the optimism in the eyes. Like, what do we think going forward?
They are optimistic about where the tumor was growing. They're optimistic that the treatment plan that they're going with is going to be super aggressive against it.
Ian, a year from now, you're going to be back in scrubs, back at it?
I mean, if I could be in Texas or Miami, helping with the current spike in cases. Next week, I want to be out in the field, and I want to keep going, and help where my specialty and my experience can be most beneficial.
And we wish the same thing for this young healthcare hero, which he has given us in our darkest times. Hope. I mean, you guys, think about him for 1 second.
That's heavy.
He just said that he would go back in a minute, right? In a week if he could. And he also said one of the most difficult things was when he was having his surgery, his mom really wanted to fly in and be with him because it happened here in New York. And because of everything that was going on, she couldn't come to be with him. And he was worried about her health, which is just the kind of guy he is. But picture a guy just like that. When you think about the problems you have and what you're going through, you look at this guy and you say to yourself, well, like my stuff's not so bad.
Yep.
Yeah.
Helping is clearly in his DNA.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anybody can beat it. He looks like a good candidate. 29,
Yes.
he looks like an athlete.
Right. He's healthy. He said all he can do is eat right. He said, I'm doing all the things they're letting me do. I'm going to eat right. I'm going to exercise. He has aggressive chemo.
Right.
And he said he's going to do all the things the doctors say. And his only goal is to get back into hospitals to help other people.
But it also seems like he possesses the perfect attitude to do. Like, as you pointed out, the optimism in the eyes there.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Wow. Wow.
That made me cry again.
I know. Me too. Me too. So this guy has helped countless number of people. He's in one of the biggest crises of his own life. And still he wants to be on the front lines helping others. And I'm sorry, but I'm going to tack this on. And some people can't even wear a mask.
Yeah. He went across the country
this guy,
to New York.
To the most dangerous place at the time.
Yep. And was working tirelessly, as all of our healthcare workers have been doing. But he took it upon himself to go across the country to where help was needed the most at the time, and was diagnosed with brain cancer, which, again, for anyone to be diagnosed with cancer at any point in life is devastating.
It's devastating, but brain cancer, I mean, and then his poor mama couldn't even be with him. You know, we have a very good mutual friend whose father was in a car accident, and thankfully it seems like he's making a comeback.
Right.
But it was very dicey for a few days. And our friend and her sister couldn't even see him, you know, and so many families are going through this. So many.
Exactly.
What a warrior this kid is. In that kid, he's 29, but what a warrior. And what a special heart.
He's lovely. We're going to post that also. If you want to watch the clip of him, he's adorable. You can look at the Today Show. But I'm going to also post a link to the GoFundMe in our show notes. And again, his name is
wonderful.
Ian Youngblood.
Oh, Ian, I'm sure you will never hear this, but I sure do. Yes, I love you. Thank you. And you're on my prayer train.
Yep.
Ooh, my goodness. I have 3 people very close to me in my life that are battling cancer right now. Yep. And any time in history would have been a tough time, you know, in recent history would have been a hard time to battle this. But right now it's even worse. And I just can't imagine, you know, 2 of them are a father and son. And it just seems so unfair.
It is unfair.
Yeah. You know me and my sense of justice. It doesn't work. That doesn't fit for me. It's wrong.
Totally. And also, not only do people have to be even more worried and protective of their loved ones during these times, also sometimes we take for granted how long treatment is. I mean, yes, some people may have 3 months.
Years.
Some people have years. One of our first raves over a year ago about Kylie's Colors, the nail polish company that lets children name a color after them. Well, my dear friend Karen Miller, her niece is still now just halfway through a 2-year course of treatment between their hometown in Mississippi and going to Tennessee to St. Jude's. And things have been further complicated, obviously, and they have for your friends as well because of COVID and because of people already having a suppressed system.
Suppressed immune system. And then also tack on too, COVID patients are taking beds from regular medical patients. I mean, obviously it's all still medical, but it's like, that's another reason we need to be careful and get this under control, because people who really would always need this help are being surgeries are being postponed. Chemotherapy is being questioned if they're not able to get there safely, or they have to stay, and organizations have to help the one parent allowed to be with a child. Like, it's a lot. It's layer after layer.
They have to do it at home now. I know some people are having to receive their chemo treatments at home. So it's just,
our whole world has just been turned upside down. And I'll tell you what we need more of is kindness and compassion for others, because I can only speak for our country, but I have noticed that if it doesn't affect someone, they don't care. And we cannot operate as a human race that way. We have to be compassionate and kind, because we're all in this together as a human race. It's not political beliefs. It's not religious beliefs. It's about survival. So anyway.
I will say one thing.
Well, that was lovely.
Thank you. Because there's been a few times where I'm like, I have to mention this. I was a guest this past week on a dear friend's podcast called The Political Bubble. It is run by Darren Yalaki, and I was his guest this week. I know. He loves you too. We had a great time. Yeah, it's not just talking politics. I mean, a lot of it was talking about COVID. If I'm going to be frank, I think that's happened for a lot of people, because that's just the way of the world right now. But we talked a lot about this and about masks and about not being selfish and about the greater good for the community and our country and the world at large. So if you are so inclined, and I am going to post it, The Political Bubble, it can be found on all major platforms, and it is the most current issue called Corona or Corona, Kanye or Kanye. Kanye. I can't even say it right. So we also talked about the fact that Kanye is throwing in his hat in the ring
for president.
I cannot.
Yeah.
And I will not.
Well, I'd like to say that's insane. It would never happen. But a lot of things have happened in the last few years that I thought was insane and would never happen. So I'll just keep my sassy mouth shut. I guess I should tell people how to get a hold of us if I can remember anymore. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram at the Rants and Raves Podcast. You can also find us on Twitter. I mean, if you want, we don't go on there much, but at Raves_the, right, Jessica? Yay, Dana. You can also straight up email us at the Rants and Raves Podcast at gmail.com, or you can just go straight to our website, www.therantsandravespodcast.com. There is a contact us button. Please hit us up, guys. I've had a lot of people reaching out to me personally that are listeners of the show, just saying, hey, loving the show. Love the long episodes.
Right? I'm shocked. We thought people were going to be angry.
I know, me too. Also, you guys have been so patient with our crazy release schedule this week. It's my fault again. So I apologize.
It's Corona's fault.
Corona's fault for everything.
We'd be sitting in your living room otherwise.
I know, with some pancake bread from Trader Joe's.
And Ollie.
And our producer, Lucy. My little doggy dog. So anyway, we love you guys. We appreciate everyone that's listening so much. We love doing this show. It makes Jessica and I happy, and we laugh and we learn. So usually at the end of the show, I like to do a weekly point to ponder or something that I'm really excited about on Instagram for you to follow or whatever. And so one of the things I want to talk about, first of all, Jessica sent me a little girl last night. Do you remember? Do you remember what she was called? Let me pull it up real quick, because Jessica, I'm not kidding. I went down a rabbit hole of this little girl. She is on TikTok. I sent it to all my sisters. We were dying. I got to find you on here. I should have had this ready. Here we go.
Okay. Along came Abby.
Yes, at Along Came Abby. I cannot figure out if they are British or New York. Her mother definitely has an accent, but she also is very New York at times.
Exactly.
But she is this tiny little girl, and she is way smarter than me. She's so funny. You can also find them on TikTok, which is where I went down the rabbit hole. You can find her. You can look for her. Abby is her name. Along came Abby. Abby is queen, they say. And she really is. She's adorable. So that's a fun thing to follow. And then it was funny that you brought this up earlier. You brought up an animal show, and that was actually going to be my suggestion for the end of the show today. There is a show on Netflix that I just found, and my family and I have been watching it, called Absurd Planet. It's on Netflix. You can stream it for free. Absurd Planet. It is the craziest animals and the things that they do that I've ever seen. Some things you're like, oh, I've seen that before, but it's cool to see video of them. But other things I'm like, how does this exist on our planet? And I didn't know. So we're all looking for things to watch and things that are not like video games.
Yes.
My child won't get off of. Absurd Planet. It's a fun watch, you guys. I guess that's it. We will try to release another episode next week. We will try to do it by Tuesday like we're supposed to, but I can't make any promises.
Dana.
Yes?
I think that's our show.
That's the end of our show. Sorry. I cannot keep it together. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. I mean, honestly, if I passed myself on the street, I probably wouldn't know it was me.
The only reason I had to say that, I think it's so cute, is that 2 people have sent messages and they said, the minute I hear Jessica, they said, I get sad because I know she's about to say, I think that's our show. And then it means it's over.
That's our show. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's our show, Jessica.
It is.
But we'll be back again next week. We might be late, but we'll be back.
Yeah. Thanks for listening.
We love you.
We love
Thank
you
you so
guys.
much for listening. Try and stay above the fray, and we'll be here next week.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.